It is Recognized Maine on RecognizedRap.com. So good to have you in on a Friday. It's actually Good Friday today, the Friday before Easter, Good Friday. I'm in a good mood. Hope you're doing all right as well. Whether you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to the show. It's Recognized Maine, the weekly talk show where we feature artists, producers, DJs, videographers, everyone doing their thing here in the Maine hip-hop scene. And today, actually, we're going to be introducing a new segment to the show as well. It's called Jammy with Danny. Now, what that is, we got a brand new music critic on the show. Her name is Danny. And each week, we're going to be choosing one local song to review. And Danny is going to let you guys know if it's a jam or if it's not a jam. That's coming up later on in the episode. But first, we welcome Haley from Hot Radio Maine to the show, also known as DJ Haylstorm. You've heard her on the radio afternoons on Hot Radio Maine. You've probably seen her at concerts as well, hosting local shows. And here on Recognized Maine is Haley. So, Haley, how you doing today? I just want to thank you so much for joining the show.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. How you been surviving these days?
Yeah, haven't been outside in probably 3 or 4 days, been laying low, but yeah, that's about it with me. I just want to jump into this interview here and also say congratulations, to the whole Hot Radio Maine team for expanding to Lewiston and Auburn as well as Bangor as well. Whole new territory for you guys, so that's awesome. That leads me to my first question, actually. What's been the most weird or the most strange thing you've learned about the listeners up in Lewiston or up in Bangor?
Oh my gosh, well, first of all, thank you. We're wicked excited to be in all these new areas. We'll be even more excited when we can physically, go do things in Bangor and Lewiston. But I guess, the craziest thing I've kind of learned without having, done shows or anything there yet is we have a lot of listeners in those areas, or a lot of listeners here who are like, oh, I just moved to Auburn or Lewiston, or I'm going to school in Bangor and now I'm able to take you guys with us. So that's been kind of bizarre to realize, but probably the coolest thing that's happened since.
Right, because Bangor, that's up near Orono, of course, a massive college town with the University of Maine right there. So, it's unfortunate that due to the coronavirus, all the students aren't there anymore, but, hopefully in the fall or perhaps next winter when everyone's back, those will be a bunch of new listeners as well. Now, not only did you guys expand to new regions in Maine, but also on new social media platforms as well. I see the Hot Radio Maine TikTok page is taken off, so what's been the most fun experience for you so far shooting videos on TikTok?
Oh my gosh, well honestly, I'm kind of learning as I go with TikTok. That was one of my New Year's resolutions at work, was I was going to run the hot TikTok and get better at it. So with everything, obviously the unfortunate thing that's going on right now, we've actually been able to do a lot of creative things on TikTok, which is cool. Of course, we did a board in the house, because who isn't doing those videos? I did a self-isolating one. So there's a lot of different creative stuff that we've been able to do with everything happening.
Right. And, I recently created a TikTok page myself. It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, I feel like TikTok is the first social media platform that I almost feel like I'm too old for.
Yeah, you and I both.
Oh man, that's funny. Now, the coronavirus has shaken routines up for everybody across the world. So, at the radio station, how has that affected, your routine? Are you working from home now? Do you miss seeing people at the station? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I definitely miss being around human beings. So what's happening is the only people that are physically going into the station at this point is me and Ryan Delon. Everyone else is solely working from home. And with me and Ryan, he's live in the morning, and as soon as he leaves, I come in and am live in the afternoon. So me and him actually never cross paths either, so we're always both alone at the station. So that's been kind of sad. But with that being said, we've definitely learned a lot about technology and things that we can do from home, which has been interesting and good to learn for the future, if we ever need to.
Right, right. And of course, coronavirus has also changed the ways you've done interviews. I've seen recently you've done a lot of Instagram live interviews with celebrities such as Lil Mosey. How is that process, doing interviews on Instagram live? It's got to be nerve-wracking to be, interviewing people while there's a whole comment section right there.
Yeah, it's super stressful, Matt. So one-on-one interview, even when they're on air, it's different because you can't really see the people listening and they don't necessarily always interact. But interviews like that on Instagram Live, you can see the comments, whether they're good or bad, and you just have to kind of not pay attention to that and focus on the interview, which can be a little bit tough. Lil Mosey, there was 15,000 people in that interview, and I've never talked to, I have, but I haven't visually seen 15,000 people listening to me at once, so that's a little weird. But on the same note, it's actually been great because we've been able to do a lot of interviews because these celebrities are just home not doing anything anyway, so they'll talk to us, and that's been really cool for our listeners to interact with them on lives and stuff like that.
Yeah, 15,000 people watching you do an interview. I mean, if I was to do an interview with that many people watching, I'd be shaking in my boots for sure.
And Lil Mosey's fans are all kids too, so I remember one of the comments was is that your mom, Lil Mosey? And I was like, damn, I don't look that old, do I?
Oh man, that's too funny. Now, I actually just got one final question for you today, because I know, you go to a lot of hair salons, I know you go to a lot of nail salons, and of course those are all shut down due to the coronavirus, so, how have you been able to survive out here?
Matt, it's a hard knock life, my friend. So I'm trying not to be too upset about it because I know everyone else is going through the same thing. All my lashes are pretty much out. I lost one nail yesterday. I've accepted the fact that they all have to go. My hair is going to be looking like Cynthia out of the Rugrats in no time, but I find comfort in knowing that I'm not alone. So I'm going to tough it out as long as I have to.
All right. Now, hey, just want to thank you again so much for stopping by the show today on Recognize Maine, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Matt. Same to you. Take care.
All right, that was Haley from Hot Radio Maine. You can check her out on Instagram and Twitter at Radio Haylstorm. And now, before we get into this next interview, we're bringing Lil Mina on the show, up-and-coming artist from Maine. I want to introduce you guys to her music because I think she's super dope.
When I get that better fall on the floor, talking beat smack, running up to your door, trying to chip my ego, but you can't deny more. I'll soar like an eagle while you stay an eyesore. Hanging with the niggas, slaying for the biggest. More stacks when I kill him. Better fall back. I talk millions, wonder how I'm winning. Think a little bigger. Bitch, it's the beginning. I say, bitch, it's the beginning.
Lil Mina joins the show today on Recognize Maine. So, Mina, thank you so much for joining. And, how's it going today?
I'm chilling, quarantined, up,
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the recipe for everyone right now, staying home, staying out of trouble. But yeah, thank you so much for joining the show. Let's jump right into these questions. So, first I just want to say, I think you're a super talented artist. I almost feel like you're Maine's best kept secret right now.
I don't feel like that. Well, you never know. I mean, I only have 3 songs out right now. I got Mad songs in the works. So, I mean, right now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to pursue in right now, trying to figure out the right time. Everything is timing. So, I'm just trying to figure out what path I'm going to go on first, because I'm actually going to start YouTube myself, where I just rant my ass off and just do crazy shit. But, I mean, that's for the future. But, yeah, I got mad shit in the works right now, and it's pretty dope.
No, I mean, I think that's a good idea that you're going to be starting a YouTube page yourself. I always tell artists, before people should fall in love with your music, they should fall in love with you as a person, fall in love with your personality. So I think that's definitely a good idea.
Exactly. See, and actually I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel. There's actually a video of me and my friend 3 years ago. We did a YouTube video of us just fucking shooting this shit. It's ridiculous. But I mean, I'm not going to give you the link. Maybe one day. But I mean, but yeah, I've always wanted to do YouTube. So we'll see how it goes. we'll see how it goes. I just want to enlighten the people, you know.
Yeah, enlighten the people. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I was just on your Instagram page and I saw you had a caption. You said 2020 is the year of enlightenment. So, you know, why is that?
I just feel like, let me tell you a crazy story. So, like years ago, I'd say about 4 years ago, me and my friend, we were best friends at the time. We had spit shit. We were so drunk, but we spit shit on it. And we were like, 2020, we're gonna make shit happen. Like all this stuff is gonna happen, and it's just crazy because even with this fucking Corona shit, like this year, even before this started happening, I've met so many people like in the past 8 months and had so many epiphanies that like all this shit was like meant to happen, you know what I mean? Like the industry that I was in, not gonna lie, like I get my money, like I used to get my money from like stripping and shit, and Corona happened, and like it's not like I like doing shit like that, so I feel like that happened to like get me back on track and get my morals straight, you know what I mean? So I'm just taking it as like some positive light to get me back on track because I know what my purpose is, and hopefully this like gets people to be more introspective to themselves in order to figure out what they need to do to better themselves, you know, because it seems like all the people that aren't in tune with themselves, not only physically but spiritually, they're not feeling so well right now, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I want to ask you about one of your lyrics on your track, Stunners Only. You know, you got a line, you say, this is all I ever wanted to be. So, you know, why is being an artist, you know, what you've been dreaming of becoming?
Yeah, actually, so I was in high school. In my senior year, I was taking these hardcore classes like statistics, AP, fucking calculus, this and that. I was gonna go to school to be a financial accountant because I'm just super good with math. But in the middle of the year, I had an early life crisis, and I dropped out of half of my classes. I really just skipped it. I almost didn't graduate because of it either. So what I would do is when I'm skipping those classes, I wouldn't even leave the school. I would go down to the library and start writing. And honestly, like what got me into the writing and the music is one of Drake's songs. I think it was "Scheming Up," and it was like, something about like fucking to all you high school kids, keep dreaming because they fucking come true or some shit like that. But I've always been into music, you know what I mean? So like I've taken dance classes since I was 3. I took flute lessons when I was in elementary, piano lessons so I can play the piano, but I don't do it as often as I should. But like I've always known about music. When I did go to college, I went for like a semester for dance and music theory, and it's like I know it's for me, you know what I mean? So it's like it's just something that's in my blood. I don't know.
No, you know, that's good. It sounds like, you know, everything you've done so far has helped, you know, pave your path for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So hopefully the future's bright. Just got to keep taking care of yourself. You can't get distracted with all this social media bullshit. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep my mind straight.
Right. Now, another question I wanted to ask you about, because I know you've spent some time recording over at Penumbra Recordings in South Portland, you know, a studio a lot of local artists go to. So how has recording there helped improve your sound?
Well, actually, like, that's the first place where I ever really recorded, you know what I mean? Being, like, professional. So he really helped me, like, figure out, just get comfortable, you know what I mean? So he has, like, a really good vibe. He's a very good person, does it for the low level, you know what I mean? And a lot of studio shit that, they're like, give me the money, you know what I mean? And they don't even necessarily have the skills to make it sound very good, you know what I mean? So it's like, I really appreciate him for like getting me comfortable in the environment because, yeah, I hadn't recorded anything, and he helped me record all 3 of those songs that are out right now. Like, I haven't been anywhere else so far.
And that first song you put out, you know, it sounds very spacey, you know, it sounds very off this earth, which leads me to this question, you know, do you believe in aliens? What do you think is out there?
Oh, don't get me started. I have this like fetish for space for some reason. I don't know. Eventually, I'm gonna get like a whole half sleeve space themed. I love that shit. But I believe low key, we're all alien. You know what I mean? Like our inner selves. Like we're all not from this earth. You know, we come to this earth and take on these meat suits and fucking live our lives in order to like just for the experience. And you know, I don't know. I do believe there's extraterrestrial life, you know what I mean? And it's just not necessarily in the way that we think, but probably out there, yeah, there are different forms of physical beings, probably. I'm not too sure, though.
Right, yeah, that's an interesting theory for sure. You know, one of the ones I heard one time was that we're all living Sims characters, like in a simulation game where somebody's controlling us all, and I think that's pretty interesting too. But hey, you know, thank you so much for joining the show here on Recognize Maine, and enjoy the rest of your day.
I appreciate you for having me on the show. It makes me feel so blessed. You know, I feel so honored, deadass, because first fucking interview. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can swear, but you know, yes, I appreciate you. You're dope.
All right, awesome, and you know, thank you again for joining the show. And now we got the final segment of today's show is called Jammy with Danny. Got a brand new music critic on the show. Again, we're picking one local song a week, and Danny is going to tell you guys if it's a jam or if it's not a jam. So, yeah, Danny, what song are we playing today?
Hey, Matt. So today we're playing John Wall by R&FD. Let's check it out.
Fuck yeah!
I keep a deuce for the slide. These bitches picking and choosing their size. Since 17, I've been doing the size. Since 17, I've been doing some shots. These niggas really not doing a lot. DD the one who phones to block. I beat it up, put a bruise on the pot. I beat it up, put a bruise on the thought. Rasta who catch a vibe on me. You love me, but would you lie on me? Can't get the man on massage for me. Best my guy, you gon' slide for me. With a success on my route OD. Girl, don't you go switching sides with me. My broke y'all switching sides on me. When you done it, I don't rely on me. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not cool with the thought. I beat it up, put a bruise on the pot. I went to school with the two, that's why he acting cool. Cause if he acting fool, he get shot.
Come through with the flow, R&FD. Great flow, great beat. It gets me moving. It gets me hyped up. I mean, it got me off my seat, so I like it. This might just be one of the top hype songs of the summer, Matt. Back to you.
Yeah, you know, I got to agree. D's been putting out a lot of fire lately. My one criticism about him, though, he has this bad habit of deleting songs from his SoundCloud page, you know, especially ones I really like. So, you know, hopefully he keeps that one up there for sure. And definitely, if you got any recommendations for songs we should check out on next week's episode, let us know in the comment section below. And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Recognize Maine. Stay safe and enjoy the weekend.